355 years of retail history in Canada are about to come to an end, at least the way we know it now. All Hudson's Bay stores will close their doors by Sunday. While the Bay, as we know it, is shutting down, there are some signs the brand can live on in some other format. A BC billionaire has purchased some of these shuttered stores, and Canadian Tire has acquired Hudson's Bay's brands, names, and logos. But what does that actually mean for the Bay's future? Here to tell us more is Doug Stephens. He is a retail analyst and expert. Good morning to you, Doug.
Good morning, Rosie.
Okay, so let's start by talking about the Canadian Tire deal. What's the latest with that?
Yeah, so Canadian Tire came to the table a couple of weeks ago, and they bought all of the intellectual property and brand assets that the Bay was auctioning off. They paid about $30 million for that, and for that they got the Hudson's Bay brand, they got the iconic stripes that we're all familiar with, but they got several other brands as well. They got Gluckstein Home, Hudson North, the Zellers brand, all for $30 million, which really and truly is like a rounding error in Canadian Tire sales on an annual basis. So this was a really, really good deal. And it gives them the ability now to begin branding products or product lines with those iconic labels.
So Doug, you're saying they got pretty much a steal of a deal in $30 million for that.
Absolutely. When you think about the upside, especially when you consider that, I think our equity in Hudson's Bay in terms of public opinion of the brand just really exploded. As soon as we all found out that the brand was going away, all of a sudden everyone was taking an interest in it. And I think the equity in that brand today is far greater than it has been over the last decade. So yeah, for Canadian Tire, this was an absolute coup, and it keeps the brand in Canadian hands.
That is good news. Okay, we also know that there is a woman in British Columbia who has purchased some of the retail locations, Ruby Weihung Liu. Now, she now owns 28 store leases. What can she do with those locations? What does this mean?
Yeah, great question. So this is a really interesting component to the story. Ms. Liu is an immigrant from China. In China, she owned a shopping center, which she sold for approximately $1 billion prior to coming to Canada. When she came to Canada, she began investing in shopping centers in British Columbia, and she currently owns 3 of those. Now, she has come to the table and she's purchased 28 former Hudson's Bay leases. So she's got the spaces. And what she is saying is that she wants to build a new and modern concept of a department store in Canada. And she's actually giving preferential hiring to some of the 8,000 Hudson's Bay employees that are, as of Sunday, going to be looking for work. So it's going to be really interesting to see what she brings to the table, particularly because of the Chinese connection, because department stores in China are a very different animal. They're very technologically connected. They are places where events happen. It's about culture, it's about food and entertainment, and it could be exactly what the Canadian marketplace needs. So it's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on what Ms. Liu decides to do.
Doug Stephens, we really want to thank you for just kind of breaking it down, and it's good to know that it appears that the Bay, the iconic symbols and looks of the Bay will still live on in some way, shape, or form, at least at Canadian Tire.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Doug Stephens, retail analyst.